The New Champion of Shazam, issue 4. Josie Campbell writing with Doc Shaner on art. This is the final issue of this miniseries, so we get our conclusion. And Mary goes off to the college. Now we know that the professor is the villain, although we get a reveal as to who she really is later in the issue.
Yeah, let's slow build to that.
Yeah. So she tells the rest of them to sort of stay back, and then she's going to go and save the day. And goes to the college, and the professor's like talking over the radio system and taunting her. Basically, she wants to recruit her, but she sends her alligators after her. We got all these.
I love also what Josie Campbell's saying about technology here is that like when we start to get to the villain and their plan is they found out that they can use phones as a receptacle and a battery for magic. And that through that, it can corrupt. So it's almost like this thing that connects us can also corrupt us.
Yeah, and it's also draining that power. Like she basically explains that every person has at least a little bit of magical energy in them. They just don't know how to harness it. So all the homeless people, and then also obviously Mary's adoptive parents, that they've been captured. They're basically all just like tied to like beds or posts. And they're being drained of this magical energy to funnel the villains that are going around with the phone strapped to their chest.
With the phone strapped to right. But what I was going to say, too, is like, but that's also kind of like the force of Shazam that we've seen, right? That it can connect all of them like it has with the family, but it's also can corrupt like it did with Black Adam. So just on this tiered structure, I just like what Campbell's, doing here. And and
Shaner's art is obviously like,
it was always the selling point of the book to begin with when it was back when it was announced.
I mean, I actually
originally was announced as a writer as well. Right?
Yeah, I actually think I didn't really know Josie Campbell. This has made me a fan. Like this has made me want to read more Josie Campbell because I think it's actually a really solidly written book. But so she sends out her 3 hench students that have got the phone strapped to their chest. Yeah, the TAs we'll call them. And they have this big fight in the baseball field. Do you know what? There's something, and this is why we need more Shazam books. There's something so satisfying about when they say the word in the middle of a fight, either to turn into Shazam or turn out of Shazam. But when it's used effectively, it's such a great moment. So this idea that she uses it to like strike them with lightning to like to break the circuit so they all fry, not to kill them.
She's explaining to them, right? Like, hey, like I might not be the teacher's assistant or anything, but I do understand electronics. That if you overload the circuit, the whole thing fails. And then she hits it with and then she goes to save the day as Mary, not as Mary Marvel.
I love that panel though, because with the lightning bolt going through her, where she's already turned back into Mary, so she's sort of falling out.
She's dropping.
Like I just think it's a really cool visual. That's the because normally it's the other way around because you want the big splash page of she says Shazam and then she's now she's Shazam. Like you want that big. This is the flip of it where turning into the human version is what's saving the day kind of thing. There's a nice bit of message in there. But
who really saves the day?
Go on.
The rabbit.
Yeah.
The rabbit does help.
Hoppy does.
Hoppy does save the day.
Hoppy does help.
Yeah. But we find out that the teacher here, her real name is Dr. Georgia Savannah.
Of course. And
this is
that reveal page and what Shaner does with the glasses to make her look like Dr. Savannah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I do like though that she doesn't like her dad. Like she's trying to one up him basically.
Because that he freed all this the 7 deadly sins. He looked at magic like it's a silly thing, but I'm gonna fuse science and magic, and that's a great twist on the Savannahs, right?
Yeah, it's also kind of nice that like it means that Mary has a villain that's a bit more tied to her specifically. It's maybe obviously it's a bit easy to say it's the female version can be her villain, but this was an interesting little swerve that felt a little bit different.
But there is a difference there. It's not just the female version of Savannah; it's a different version.
And it's interesting she's got a similar, if twisted, version of the same motivation that Mary has here. In that she's living up to a legacy, but also wants to be her own thing, and there's that parallel there.
Yeah. If anything, it dips into that idea of the villain's kind of like the hero, just like an evil version of it. Yeah. There's a little bit of that going on. She's got 3 phones strapped to her chest, and she's about to go super and fight Mary. Which again, we get a great transition into Mary as Shazam, with the lightning around her hand at first, and then her feet, and then her entire body's just glowing gold, and then you get the full Shazam lightning bolt where she's still yellow Like, no, she's still the same color as the lightning. The color's not settled yet, so it's like your mid flash of light, but you still see her through it. So it's a phenomenal pick. The art is gorgeous throughout, and the lightning strikes Savannah, Georgia Savannah through the chest. So really good stuff. Then the rabbit and Darla's there. That's the other thing. Darla snuck off to try and help, so that raised the stakes because now the little kid's also in danger. So yeah, really good stuff. So Mary has to lift up because the entire campus is starting to crumble because of all the fighting and lightning bolts and whatnot. So Mary has to lift up the whole thing. You get your big sort of heroic moment.
Literally putting everything on her shoulders. Also,
yeah, there's that full page spread of her holding up one of the beams. She's helping someone up in costume, and that's when Darla's telling everyone, no, she's not called Miss This or that. She and I love how it cuts it off because calling her Miss Marvel might be a copyright problem or a trademark problem. So no, she's Shazam, and that sets up that. So so the book ends with her going off to try and she hears a call effectively coming, and wants to go and figure out what's going on. She looks up in the sky, and it looks like it might be Billy is Shazam in the sky. I actually thought they might swerve us here and it might be Black Adam outside.
That's what I thought, considering where we left him off on Dark Crisis, right?
Yeah.
Kind of as this guy that wants to help the new generation. But then we get the Green Rain and whatever, and we're like,
the Rock, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the last 2 pages are basically more about setting up where the next Shazam story is going to be rather than being an ending to this, but I'm curious enough to want to check it out, and I really enjoyed this that I do want more Shazam. So
I guess you're reading the Lazarus Planet one shot next week.
Yeah, but will I read any after that? That's the real question.
And here's the thing too, is like Shazam's been gone for so long, and I like Josie Campbell so much that I would not be adverse to Mary as Shazam going forward.
Oh, for a long time, yeah. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to be back to Billy within a matter of months. But
I've always liked the Mary character more than Billy, and that was just something as I was reading comics. There was plenty of Mary Marvel stuff going around. So to see her come into her own on here.
Yeah, I mean, we've had these pockets of Shazam over the last few years, but maybe Shazam can't really just sustain ongoing anymore. But
I don't think Shazam can barely sustain the Jeff Johns one, right? Obviously that had its own problems with all the delays, probably didn't help.
Right.
But I could see like sequels to this. I could see other 4-issue minis that are sequels, perhaps. Like that's what I'd hope for. Is give us some more of these. Yeah.
Or I mean, I'm even fine for team books where Mary shows up as the Shazam delegation or whatever. Like her just taking that mantle and letting Billy be off to the side for a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly though, this was a joy to read this 4-issue mini, and it's put a different writer on my map, which is always nice because it's one thing into a book where you like the writer already. It's nice when you discover a new one that you like, because it's another name to add to the roster that I can be excited about when their name pops up on something.
I remember Tamaki was like that with us early on, and I think it was through Being Super.
It was Being Super. It was another. Super, it was that was also a 4-issue. Maybe that. No, it was 4 issues. That was a 4-issue book.
Yeah.
I think there might have been oversized issues though.
Yeah, I think they were, but that's something where she went over to Marvel for a bit, but then she ended up being this run of Detective, this run of Wonder Woman or what it is as well. So and I look forward to what Tamaki does next. Hopefully she gets something soon, because obviously she's not really on anything right now.
Well, and so far when I go to look at what else Josie Campbell's worked on, it's Wonder Woman 797 and 798, which looks like those are coming up. And then from there, it's just the Green Lantern Future State special and then New Champion Shazam. So hopefully we get a lot of Josie Campbell at DC.
I would be down for more of her, for sure. So, all right, what are we giving New Champion Shazam, Matt?
I'm giving this a 9.
Ooh, Connor?
I'm going to give it an 8, which sounds harsh in comparison after that's 9, but I thought it was a really great ending to the mini. I really enjoyed it. I've nothing major to complain about. I just thought it didn't quite go over the top and wow me.
I'm going to split the difference and go 8.5.